What is up, YouTube? Andrew Sellers here, and I am about to bring a new version of my Cyber Dragon deck profile. Now, I know it hasn't been that long since I updated my first Cyber Dragon one, but I'm about to profile this one because it's a bit different from the last one. It's actually complete. I've also gone a few rounds with this build, and it's actually not bad. It's a bit different from other people's Cyber Dragons deck profiles. Like, the one thing it doesn't have that's like the one card in this deck that's a pretty penny I don't have in this deck is Duality. And personally, I don't think Duality is how do I word it? I don't think it's strictly needed for the deck. Like, it's helpful, I can't deny that, but it's not mandatory, and I think the deck does decent without it. And the biggest reason I don't have Duality is because of how expensive the card is right now. So anyways, onto the profile. So first up, we have 3 of the boss man himself, Cyber Dragon. I run 3 of him for self-explanatory reasons. Next, I run 2 Galaxy Soldier. I don't think I had this guy in my previous profile, but now I do. And I'm glad I have him, because this guy, as many people know, is good for getting out Infinity. Next, 3 Hearse. Then 3 Cyber Dragon Core. Then 3 Nashter. Then 2 Ver. And now for some hand traps. 1 copy of Star Destroying Kaiju and 3 Ash. I partially run one of the my previous deck profile had 2 of Star Destroying Kaiju, but I run them at 1 because you statistically only really need 1 copy of this guy, and because it's a machine monster, and Ash is in here for obvious reasons. Now I run Cyber Emergency. Literally the best spell card in this deck, in my opinion. Like, it's just too good. 3 Repair Plant. Not as good of a card as Emergency, but still solid. 3 Machine Dupe. 2 Overload Fusion. Now, I know this is a bit of a risky card to run in this deck, but I also run 2 Power Bond. The damage is quite risky, but the power-ups I think is worth it. Especially if you have an easy opportunity to get to finish off your opponent's life points like that. Then Cyber Eternal. Really good reviving defensive card for this deck. Then we have one Overload Fusion. One Limiter Removal. One Called by the Grave. And finally, for spells, triple Tactics Talent. And the only traps you run in the main deck, 3 Infinite Impermanence. I don't run a whole lot of traps in this deck because Cyber Dragons are a very power heavy, straightforward deck, and and the only negation cards you really need for this deck are cards like Hand Traps and this card. Now for my side deck. First, we have one Droll Blackbird. At some point, I'm going to get 2 more copies of this card, and I am looking to maybe main deck it as a 3 of, considering how many decks search in this format. One D-Shifter. 2 Nibiru. 2 Veiler. 1 copy of another Kaiju, just in case my opponents tend to do anything fishy. And then DD Crow. I might try and bump DD Crow up to 2, and I'm debating whether I want to keep the other Kaiju in the main deck or not. For the main deck, you only really need 1, but I feel like having an additional copy of it in the side deck can come in handy. 1 Dark Ruler No More. 1 Raigeki. And finally, for the side deck, 3D Barrier and 2 Evenly Matched. Evenly Matched is just too good to pass up. And then D-Barrier is just a good insta-lock sort of card. And now for the extra deck. This is where it gets kind of fun. First up, 3 Mega Fleet Dragon. He's easily one of the easier fusion monsters to summon into this deck, and gets a massive attack point boost when it's summoned. Next up, 1 Chimera Tech Overdragon. I know not a whole lot of people run this card, but I feel like it's a really good finisher for the deck, considering how strong it can get and how many attacks it can deliver. 1 Rampage Dragon. Rampage is busted. All I'm gonna say for him. 2 Cyber Twin Dragon. 1 Cyber End Dragon. And finally, for fusions, 1 Fortress Dragon. Next up, 2 Nova and 2 Infinity. Infinity's the whole reason you run Nova, and Infinity's just one of the best Cyber Dragon cards in the game. Then Cyber Dragon Seeger. And then finally, Salamangreat Alamarage. So that is it for my Cyber Dragon deck profile. My build for it was made to be super straightforward and partially control based. And it's only partially control based due to my side deck having Ash and Kaijus as some of my hand traps, and it's also built to not have a lot of normal traps, considering how much material I need to summon a bunch of Cyber Dragon monsters I have. Like, it's a very straightforward material heavy deck. Anyways, thank you all once again for watching my videos. Please like and subscribe for more content, and I'll get to you guys later on. See you later.